When a game has a rich storyline and multiple sequels, it's normal for some loose ends to be left unexplained, leading to fan theories and online speculations, often created by enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. That's why I've gathered the most absurd fan theories out there. Watch the video until the end and draw your own conclusions. If you're into video games, you've probably played Super Mario World at least once in your life, even if it was on that sneaky emulator on your PC. And if you did, you probably remember the mysterious sunken ghost ship, right? With an eerie soundtrack, at least by Super Mario standards. But what if I told you there's a theory that links this ship to the previous game in the franchise, Super Mario Bros. 3? A fan, who clearly played a lot of Mario 3 and had plenty of time to imagine connections between the games, came up with the idea that the ghost ship in Super Mario World is actually one of Bowser's airships from Mario 3. And it kind of makes sense. After all, in the NES game, Mario destroys those airships. So who's to say one of them didn't sink into the ocean of the Mushroom Kingdom? But the theory doesn't stop there. That same fan believes that the ghosts haunting the sunken ship are actually the enemies Mario defeated in the previous game. In other words, the ones Mario destroyed, along with those that went down with the ship, supposedly became the Boos and other supernatural entities in Super Mario World. Maybe the Boos are there seeking revenge, or who knows what else? Who would have thought that a game made for all ages could turn into a conspiracy theory like this? I highly doubt that Shigeru Miyamoto had this story in mind when creating the game. But what do you believe? Mario and Freemasonry, two completely different worlds. Yet once again, fans have come up with bizarre and peculiar theories, suggesting that Super Mario 64 is actually leading players through a Masonic ritual. Just for context, Freemasonry is, in theory, a secret organization where only its members know what really happens inside. However, what catches people's attention are the theories involving satanic rituals and other mysterious elements. But what does the mustached plumber, who just wants peace and to save the princess, have to do with all of this?
What'd you do with it?
A little bed warming for Papa Koopa.
To begin with, fans compare the castle's entrance floor to the standard flooring of a Masonic hall. And without much effort, you can see that both are checkered, like a chessboard. Not to mention the sun symbol in the center of the hall, which can be likened to a star. An undeniable resemblance, right? Another comparison is the game's coins, which have pentagram-like stars engraved on them, reminiscent of symbols often associated with occultism. However, unlike those symbols, Mario does not feature the infamous Baphomet figure, which I don't even like to look at because it reminds me of you-know-who. But it doesn't stop there. The first level, Bob-omb Battlefield, is incredibly fun. There's a section where you have to climb a mountain, overcoming obstacles until you reach the top and face King Bob-omb. So far, so good. But according to a theory, this level was inspired by the Rosicrucian Mountain, where the path is full of obstacles that one must overcome to reach the top and meet the king. Another interesting detail is the Boo's Courtyard, home to the infamous inscription that trolled fans for decades, making them believe Luigi was in the game. The fact is, the statue with the plaque is shaped like a pyramid without the capstone, a design you've probably seen somewhere before, representing the all-seeing eye. This symbol is commonly linked to occultism and the Illuminati. The all-seeing eye can also be found in Big Boo's haunt and several other objects throughout the game, reinforcing this seemingly never-ending theory. That would make for a long video just talking about these Mario 64 theories.
Hello?
Luigi's Mansion already has a darker tone compared to Mario's games, but it's not exactly a true horror game. In reality, it mixes light scares with innocent humor, all set in a haunted mansion. And you might be wondering, what's so scary about Luigi's Mansion? Well, when Luigi answers the phone in a specific position in this room, the shadow projected on the wall sparked a crazy theory. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the image suggests Luigi is being hanged. But hold on, this theory doesn't make any sense, and I'll explain why. Just take a close look at the details of the scene. There are telephones in the room, and it's actually one of them casting its shadow on the wall, right next to Luigi's. Since the phone is in front of the lightning flash, its shadow overlaps with Luigi's, creating this weird illusion. If you still have doubts, I took a screenshot of this exact moment to show the shadow more clearly, so there's no more room for debate. For a moment, I even thought it could be the chandelier, but after analyzing it better, it's just the phone. Some of these theories are completely wild, right? Have you ever heard of this one before? And to conclude, look at that. It's hard to talk about video games without mentioning Sonic, right? His games have always had a pretty simple story. Dr. Robotnik, or Dr. Eggman if you prefer, captures animals, turns them into robots, and tries to take over the world. It's up to the blue hedgehog to stop, and that's it. Simple as that. Or is it? Some crazy theories that popped up on forums like Reddit suggest that Sonic might actually be a metaphor for the Cold War. More specifically, the battle between communism and capitalism. I know it sounds like a huge stretch, but for those who love a conspiracy theory, it starts to make a little sense. The first point brought up by a user is that many of Sonic's enemies in the early games are red, and red, as we know, is the color associated with communism. On top of that, both Robotnik himself and Knuckles, who was initially Sonic's rival, also stick to this color palette. Coincidence? Maybe. But there's more. Another curious detail is Dr. Robotnik's iconic mustache, which bears a strong resemblance to the style of a famous communist dictator, Joseph Stalin. And to wrap up the theory, there's the fact that Sonic always defeats the villain by being faster, which could be a reference to the space race and the arms race of the Cold War, events in which the capitalist bloc came out on top. Looking at it from this angle, the idea starts to make some sense, right? But hold on. There's another theory that goes in the opposite direction, arguing that Sonic actually represents socialism against ruthless capitalism. The argument here is that Robotnik is a classic capitalist tycoon. He enslaves animals by turning them into robots to have an endless workforce and make unlimited profits. He owns casinos, Casino Night Zone, chemical plants, Chemical Plant Zone, and a massive industrial city, Metropolis Zone. The guy has so much money that he literally built his own version of the Death Star. On the other side of this fight, we have Sonic, a cool dude with stylish sneakers and spectacular blue hair, fighting to free the workers from this oppression. Now, which of these two theories is crazier? Honestly, I have no idea. Not because they're completely nonsensical, but because imagining that all of this was planned from the start is just insane. To me, Sonic is just a game about a fast hedgehog taking on a mad scientist. But what do you think of this whole wild theory? I really hope you enjoyed the video. Here are 2 more suggestions in case you want to keep watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you feel like it. See you in the next video.